Okay, we're going to talk about strategic partnerships today. But before I start, can anyone tell me what this is? Huh? No. Who said it? How do you know? How do you know? Yeah, who wouldn't? Who would? Anyone knows what a didgeridoo is? Anyone doesn't know what a didgeridoo is? Okay. It is an Australian Aboriginal instrument which looks like this. This is the portable version of the didgeridoo. And can anyone tell me what the sound of a didgeridoo is? And can anyone tell me how you play actually the didgeridoo? You blow it. What do you? It's just like
blow raspberries.
Blow raspberries. Thank you. You actually play it like this. Everyone try. Okay, good. Now there is also something else that you're doing with the didgeridoo called circular breathing, which is inhaling and exhaling at the same time while you're blowing raspberries. Can anyone try to inhale and exhale at the same time? Give it a go. Yeah. Okay, we don't want to call any ambulance here, so don't do it. But when you start playing the didgeridoo, you start with the first sound, which is blowing raspberry, which sounds then something like this. Good, standard sound. Thank you. And then what you're doing, you start adding something different, like the circular breathing, and sound something like this. That's stage 2. Thank you. But then what happens is that you can add something else, which is playing with your voice, playing with the movement of your tongue, playing, is that tongue or tongue? Tongue. Oh, okay, no, I got confused between the two. Hey, I'm Italian, not originally British, okay? So you play with the movement of your cheeks as well, and then you can be a bit more creative, like this. Thank you. Now, we're still talking about strategic partnerships and not about didgeridoos, okay? So it's not, you're not in the music department right now. But why do you think I started in this way, talking about strategic partnership? Why do you think I started with this metaphor? Adding value, okay. Let's look at strategic partnership. Why do you think I started in this way?
Connecting with the audience.
That's a way to connect, okay. So you want to connect when you're creating partnerships. What else?
Joining together makes it more, enhances it.
Joining together enhances it. You can see that there were multiple things happening at the same time, and joined together, they created more value.
Because partnerships are very nuanced, and it's the dynamic, just like when you're doing your didgeridoo performance, it's a very delicate thing, and so.
Yeah, there are nuances when you're running strategic partnerships, and so it's about having harmony within the different parts. So we're going to talk about what are strategic partnerships, who can be the best strategic partners for you, and then how to run strategic partnerships. These are the things that we are going to cover during the talk, and then we are going to have a workshop later to identify the ideal strategic partners for you and see if you can find an introduction or connection or strategic partnership in this room as well. So this is what we are going to cover. So if I ask you, what are strategic partnerships? What is the definition of strategic partnership? Anyone tell me?
Other
Let's go.
organizations that can allow you to either increase your services or increase the amount of income or thing you do, and it's a win-win situation.
Right, it's about creating a win-win situation with other organizations that can add something that you don't have. Other people, other organizations, to create win-win situation. Anyone else wants to chip in? Yes?
A goal-driven relationship.
Pardon?
A goal-driven relationship.
There is a goal-driven relationship. Thank you. There is a common goal. There is a common goal when you're creating a strategic partnership with someone else. What else? Someone also on this side. Yes?
Maybe collaborating to add value.
Exactly. There is a collaboration that adds value. So as you can see, when you're creating a strategic partnership, it's about looking for something that you need and partnering up with another organization or people that can bring what you don't have, which at the same time adds value to them as well. So it becomes a great win-win situation. Now you can create partnerships, there are different levels of partnership. You have promotional partners, which the goal is to the goal of promotional partnerships is to promote, thank you. And then you have delivery partners where the goal is to deliver, thank you very much. Now we're going to focus at the beginning on promotional partnerships. Finding other people that can, organization that can give you access to their audiences, to their people. And I want to start with marketing because a strategic partnership can be used exactly on a marketing level. Can anyone tell me other ways other than strategic partnerships to market? What other ways there are to market your business?
Social media.
Social media, okay, yeah, social media.
Word of mouth.
Oh, pardon?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Testimonials.
Testimonials, word of mouth. So we can say that there are different ways. I want to break it down in 3 different ones. The first one is paid advertisement. You pay to get in front of your ideal audience. Then you have cold outreach. So whether it is cold emails, sending leaflets, flyers, that's a cold outreach, which are both a volume game. And then you have a strategic partnership, which is more of a quality game. And I like to use the metaphor of going to the club and dating. So for example, if you're looking at paid advertisement, with paid advertisement, most of the time you have little control of who is going to see that message, unless you're very specific with that targeting. And it's almost like that guy at the club that tries to dance with everyone, says someone is gonna say yes, right? So it's a volume game. Dance with everyone, someone is going to say yes. Maybe they're going to be successful, maybe not. That's one approach. A bit cringy, but it's one approach. Then you have the other approach, which is the cold outreach. I called it the Tinder approach. Message everyone, say yes, someone is going to respond. Again, a volume game, not a quality game. But then you have the introduction from a strategic partner. When someone else that you trust, Junior has talked a lot about trust already. When someone, yeah, he's not that happy. I should have changed the gift there. But when you bring someone and you say, hey, my friend is not that bad. Maybe you should try to give him a chance or give her a chance. Now there are more chances, they're more likely to say yes or to be open to that conversation. This is exactly what happens with strategic partnerships. Let's say that you're partnered up with a brand, they already have their customers, they already have their clients, they already have a relationship, and there is a certain level of loyalty. If that brand says, hey, we have another partner that is going to deliver this piece of work for us, now they're going to be more open to listen to it. Because if I believe and if I trust that brand, I'm more likely to trust what they're going to say, and they have done their due diligence. And so that's why I love strategic partnerships so much, and I use it as my main way. I built 4 different businesses, all built on strategic partnerships, because the relationship that you can create, the common goals that you can create, the win-win situation, but in particular the ease of getting that customer is much higher, because the trust is already there. And let's be honest, trust is the most important currency that we have in business. Trust comes before money. Before people spend money with us, they will spend time, then they see something which means that they trust, and then they will spend money. So what you have done, you have already cut the two parts, the first two parts, which is spending time and investing the trust and building the trust. So that's why the sale is much more easier in that way. Does it make sense so far? Yeah? And the reason why I became so fond about strategic partnerships, because I mentioned that's how I built my business. Gtex has been around for 13 years. We've been in business for 13 years this year. And when I came to the UK as any good Italian, what do you think I did? Waiter, thank you, exactly. What do? We go and work in restaurants, right? I actually loved working in restaurants, like any good Italian. And I used to manage and work in Michelin star restaurant. So I received a job offer from Italy to work in a Michelin star restaurant in Notting Hill. We had clients like Madonna, Woody Allen, we had David Gilmour from the Pink Floyd, we had many celebrities that they were coming at our restaurants. But then I was passionate about the event industry, so I started running an event company. And didn't have much money. I didn't know anything about running my own events. So that's where I built my first partnership with a venue. Went to a venue and I say, hey, I'm planning to run 7 events. I'm looking for a room for these 7 events. Can we negotiate something? I don't have much money, so can you help out? A lot of venues said no, and then I found an organic farm in Hackney called the Hackney City Farm. Anyone familiar with that? It's actually a beautiful farm in Hackney. I was a bit of a hippie at the time, as you can see from the picture. But I wanted to start running events, and I managed to find this partnership. And Hackney said, well, we'll give you the room for 7 events, called the Straw Bale Room, which was made with straw bale. And we started running our events there. We were bringing people to their cafe. It wasn't used in the evening. So for them, we brought people and traffic. I mean, that's what we told them we were going to do. First few events didn't work out that way, but then things picked up and we managed to pull our part. And that was the start of our company. Then we started partnering up with other speakers. Other speakers will bring their social media connections. That's where we had our first registration. So everything started as a partnership. I needed help, so I found a friend of mine and we had a goal to create these events together. That was the very first partnership that turned then into a business partnership, and we have been in business for 13 years together. So you can see that partnerships are everywhere. And the biggest shift that I want you to have from this presentation is this. Instead of looking for clients consistently, start prospecting for partners. Because one great partner, just one great partner, can bring you 10 clients, 20 clients, 100 clients, 1,000 clients. I have one partner in business right now which is responsible for bringing about $250,000 just on new clients every single year. And that's one great partnership. It works for them and it works for us. And that was the biggest shift that I had, so I want you to write this down. Prospect for partners. Prospect for partners. Because you have the right partners, they will amplify everything you do. And it will make a really big difference in your business. And that's what happened with that company. So now from that small events in that farm, then we started running an average of about 200 events a year. I did 1,000 events in a period of 5 years, started writing for Forbes, Entrepreneur magazine, build a large team and company, and speaking all over the world, building a great community, and then COVID hit. What happened to the event industry when COVID hit? Wow. The sound of the didgeridoo, the very that's what happened. That's what happened when COVID hit. So now I found myself having an event team. We're running 200 events a year. I cannot run my business anymore. And on top of that, I have to fire now about half of my team. So one of the most difficult times of my life, because I had to readjust, but in particular, we had great relationships and bond with our team members. And if you have ever been in the position to fire someone, not because they did a bad job, but actually because either there were no funds or there were changes in the business, and you care about them, only when you've been through the experience you know how hard it is. In particular, if you care about the people, about that particular individual, those particular individuals. At the same time, I also lost my social media audience. My Facebook account was hacked. We were making a lot of money from organic Facebook, so one day, cannot run my events anymore, lost my social media audience. Fortunately, we had our database, but still a lot of our clients came from our social media. So now I don't know how I'm gonna cover all my overheads. What am I going to do now? Still got a business to run, got a wife, got a family, got responsibilities, got debts that I gotta pay. What am I going to do? And that's where strategic partnership came again into place. So I started thinking, okay, who has my audience? I need to rebuild this audience, so who has my audience? And I started to find other organizations or other companies that where I could deliver my services to, and they will put me in front of their audiences. And again, turn the situation around. So a strategic partner, the one great partnership, can make the difference. In fact, I remember that there was one time where I didn't know how I was going to arrive at the end of the month. One partner sent an email to their list. And you know when sometimes you have things that happen that you cannot explain why they're happening? But the right person at the right time, in the right moment, shows up and seems to sort the situation out. That's what is a strategic partner for me. They help us go through the month, go through the next month, and then we build a very long-term and sustainable partnership. So strategic partnerships are the real game changer, and the goal, write this down please, because it's going to be relevant for later, is to build the 6 great partnerships. 6 great partnerships. When I say great partnerships, it means that they work for both sides and they are long-term. Because building partnerships is a bit like dating. How many of you have been on a bad date? How many of you have been maybe on a good date and then it turned out to be a really good relationship at the end? Some of you, okay? Anyone married here? Okay, if you've been married, maybe that's one of the situations. So, as you can see, you might have to kiss quite a few frogs before you find great strategic partnerships. You might have to kiss quite a few frogs before you find great strategic partnerships. I remember I had strategic partnerships, if you're talking about the dark side, that let me down. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, a bit like Junior, so I like to start businesses every day I wake up. Let me start a new business, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, no, it's not. But one of the businesses that we had was a shared office space. So I took this lease and this, I was paying rent on this office that could host about 14, 15 people. At that moment in my company, we had only 4 people. And no one wanted to work from an office, by the way. So well, it was the right opportunity, and I was a bit excited because there was a filming studio there in the office. There was a second floor with a glass boardroom, and it felt like I made it, so I wanted that place. Found the partnerships. We're splitting our rent half and half. Made a big mistake. I put the contract only in my name. Yeah, you see where I'm going here. Trusting that the partnership was going to go well. Now, unfortunately, we spent the first month, we didn't manage to fill the places. We spent the second month, we couldn't fill the places. The third month, now I'm paying all this extra money. And then the partner decides to pull out and says, hey, I'm out, this is not working, goodbye, that's on you. Now, that cost me about £60,000, that mistake on not adding the other name. Now, I'm not saying this to turn you off about creating strategic partnerships, but also to be aware that, like in anything, you got to protect yourself. And always think when you're creating a partnership about best case scenario and worst case scenario. Because there are some partnerships that are going to bring you tons of money, and other partnerships that can destroy your business. So make sure that we are going to look at how to engage in a partnerships at the end, and how to make sure that you can protect yourself. But these are some of the things that actually happen. So who are the ideal partners? What makes an ideal partner? There are about 3 things that we are going to look at. First of all, is someone that has the same values. Before looking at anything else, when you're creating a partnership with anyone, in particular a promotional level, remember their clients are going to be your clients. So what's going to happen if there is a mismatch in values? Now you're going to have people that are going to join your business as customers, as other potential partners and so on, that are not a good fit. And alignment in value, when we are talking about culture, is the most important thing. So one of the things I would invite you to think later during the workshop is, what are your values? What do you stand for? Because, for example, I had another partnership that in theory was going to work well. In practice, it didn't. We decided to organize a large event with another partner, and unfortunately, the event didn't work out. So we ended up losing about £30,000 in total in that particular project. It was at a time when we didn't have a lot of money saved in the bank account, so that almost killed our business. However, the partner that we partnered up with had our same values. One of my values is integrity, and that my word is my bond. Now, we had a contract in place, but I could have not respected the contract, they could have disappeared, they could have made the situation longer and so on. But what they did said, no, we went in this together. So now we are splitting this in half. We knew this from the beginning. We are here for the good and we are here for the bad. Why did that happen? Because there was an alignment in values. And so when you're clear about your own values, you can also understand the potential partner's values and see, is there an alignment first? So that's the first thing. The second thing that makes a great partner is same audience. Same audience. We are talking about promotional partners here. So you want people that have the same values and organizations that have the same values, but also they have your customers. They have already your customer. They have already access to the database that you want. Now, sometimes what happens is that we meet someone, we say, hey, we could do something together. Have you ever done that as an entrepreneur? Maybe you didn't even know, you just felt that maybe they were the same values. Right? So you get this vibe, it's like, we should do something together. And then unfortunately, because they don't have the audience that you're looking for, now it becomes a lose-lose. They're not able to gain, you are not able to gain. That's not a good partnership either. So you're looking at who are my ideal clients and what other organizations that offer, which we're going to the third step, complementary services and complementary offers, then I can find. So a great partner is someone who offers a complementary offer, who has the same values, and serves already the same audience. These are the criteria of a great partnership. I would love actually to hear from you right now. Does anyone already created a partnership that wants to share following that match this criteria on a promotional level? Yeah? Okay, let's start. Do you wanna share?
Well, I'm a designer and I work in print and web. And I work with a company that creates content, and they do data management and SEO kind of things. So we collaborated on different projects that we can offer to different clients.
Right, so that's they already have your clients. Yeah. You can partner up with them. There is a match in values. Yeah. So you like working with them, they like working with you.
And the key thing was the shared values, because we both got the same ethos behind that. We're both relatively small companies. We've got the same social values about the way we work with our clients, and that's what sort of cemented it for me.
Yeah, that's a great example, thank you. So, perfect partnership. So now you can see, what I want you to start thinking is, what will make a great partner for you? We'll have time during the workshop to fill it out, but then start thinking in the back of your mind, what will make then a great partner for you. Now I want to talk about one of my other biggest passions, which is basketball. Now, as you can see me, I might not stand out as the stereotypical basketball player for obvious reasons. I got other gifts, height, athleticism, no one of them. However, I can shoot the ball really well. That's the one thing I can do. I can shoot the ball really well. Now, I ended up playing in the 3rd division in the National League. Now, I gotta say, to be honest, I was on the bench, the worst player on the team, only playing maybe like 30 seconds each game. But I was on the team, even if there were much better players than me that didn't make the cut. What did I bring that other people might have not be able to bring?
Consistency.
Consistency, that's one. I was very consistent. Very consistent. Huh?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. I was the guy that was bringing the team together. When I left the team, I received so many messages about, hey, you were the glue of that team. So even though I wasn't playing, I was giving something that the team needed. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when you're creating a partnership, some of you might be thinking, but what can I bring to the table? Because a partnership is a win-win. They're bringing the audience. What are you going to bring? So having a list of things that are unique to you, that you can bring to the table, will help you also go into the partnership negotiation in a much more effective way. And it's about playing to your strengths. It's not about looking at something that you don't have. Maybe you don't have the audience to reciprocate the offer. That's okay. What else can you bring to the table that they need? So I remember I did a partner up for a big event. It was an event with about 1,000 people. And I reached out to the event organizer and I said, hey, do you need any help? And she said, yes, I need help here, there, and there. The event is about 3 weeks away. We don't have a really good team in place. Can you help out? Now, I didn't have at that time the promotional audience to go with that partnership and say, yes, I can promote to this event and I'm going to be able to sell this many tickets. But what I had was a running volumes of event, and I had an event team. So I went to that partnership and I said, okay, you know what? No cost. I'm going to take care of your event. I'm going to bring my team. I'm going to help structure everything, and I'm going to make sure that the event runs well. This is going to be my responsibility. Now the doors were wide open. I played to my strength. I didn't go into what don't I have, but I asked myself, what do I have that can be relevant for them? And so when you're thinking about what can you bring to the table, if you have a moment where you think, oh, but their brand is much bigger than mine, it doesn't matter. You can bring something that they need, and as long as you bring something that they need, you've done your part. And then they can open all their doors for you. Make sense? Yeah? All right. So how? Let's go a bit in the how. Let's look at some principles, and this is where I would love you to interact a bit. Let's look at some principles of running great strategic partnerships. What makes a great strategic partnership, in your opinion? I would love to hear someone that's not taught yet. Yeah.
Having transparency.
Transparency. How could you enforce transparency in that relationship? How could you create that?
Being open about what you're thinking about and having dialogues when you need to.
Right. Transparency, please write it down, is one of the most important things to create a great long-term strategic partnerships. Because sometimes it's not going to go well. And I've been in situations, for example, where people leave the bad news at the last minute. Have you ever been in that kind of situation? Where maybe you were working on a project, you thought everything was fine, and then last minute you found out things didn't go as agreed? Yeah, how frustrating is that? They could have said something earlier. So transparency, in particular where things are not going that well, is going to create a great, strong bond. Okay, that's one.
Communication that kind of plays into that when things are not going well, but also if things are going well, are things change in one way or the other, or someone is not happy with something, hey, can we just sit down and talk about it, make sure that we're on the same page about things.
Exactly, communication, consistent updates. When you're working a partnership, the partnership doesn't end when you sign the agreement or the contract. That's the starting point. You need to keep building that relationship. Communicate with the partner, give them an update. If they didn't, if maybe something doesn't happen for a period of time, re-engage and reconnect. It's one of the best principles of partnerships, because remember, they're running their businesses. They're busy. They got other priorities. You're not the most important priority. So it's your role and responsibility to make sure that now they can hear from you. They can follow you. they can engage with you, they can reignite that promotion, another promotional partnership, for example. Go on there.
I would say hold them accountable. You go hand in hand with transparency, because you can be transparent, but how do you've got to hold people accountable to what they say.
Hold them accountable. And one of the best way of holding people accountable, we're talking about communication, but is also having clear agreement of responsibilities up front. One of the best things I've learned about strategic partnership is to make sure that it's clear what their responsibility is and what your responsibility is. What they're bringing to the table, what you're bringing to the table. Because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is that a few months down the line, something somewhere somehow is going to happen, and you say, but what did we agree? And now one party ends up either over-delivering or under-delivering, and there is no way to go back to it. So whether it's an official contract or it's an email stating these are your responsibilities, these are my responsibilities, make sure you have it. What else? What else we can do to, yes?
Reliability.
Tell me more.
Sometimes we need to trust each other, because if we do not trust each other, or we won't be able to show the reliability for this person.
Exactly. So trust and build reliability. And the way you build reliability is from both sides. Is to deliver on what is promised. Is to consistently deliver on what is promised. Now, I want to ask you a question though. How can you limit the chances of a partnership to go wrong? Because sometimes you can invest a lot of time, money, energy, conversations in this partnership for something not to work out really well. So how could you prevent this to happen? Yeah.
You have to be realistic about what you can both put into it, so that you haven't set a goal that there's no way you can.
Absolutely. Be realistic on what everyone can bring. Anyone else? Yeah.
You can have security features such as a personal guarantee.
You can put a You can put a personal guarantee. Exactly. Now, one of my best ways to create partnerships is to limit the downside. So instead of going and creating a long-term partnership with someone I never worked with before, I run 3 month projects, three month projects. So that's how I set things up with anyone. Doesn't matter how long I know them, if I not know them at all. We do one project, it's 3 months, and this is the start date, this is the end date, this is what our responsibilities are. Then we can decide to renew it at the end of the 3 months or to stop it. Then after the second round, we can decide to renew it for the third round or to stop it. So now you have worked for 9 months together. It's almost like a pregnancy. Now you have worked for 9 months with them. In 9 months, you have a chance to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, how react, how they respond, how they treat you, how they treat your clients, how they treat their clients. Everything really happens in this first 9 months. Then you can decide, is this someone I want now to, is the relationship tested enough to create a bigger partnership? So I like micro projects, and I have a clause that anyone at any time can walk away from the partnerships. The only caveat is that if we have work that we need to deliver for a client, we finish to deliver that work for that client, but then we can pull away. We can get out of the partnership. I want also to make it easy for someone to leave the partnership. Because if they are tied legally into a partnership, you will not be able to see the real them. If there is a clause that says, at any point, if it doesn't work out, I can walk away, you can walk away, then you can see also how they act and how they behave, and if the partnership is really strong. So these are some of the how-tos. Now we are going to start a workshop in a minute, so I know there are some handouts that are going to be given to on your table. While the handouts are going, if you're interested on a checklist, I have a checklist that I have for all my partners before I go into a partnership to see if it meets the right environment, if actually is the right partner. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, there is a QR code there. You connect with me on LinkedIn, you message me the word partnership, I know it's you, I'll send you the handout, the checklist.